Ricky Gervais is an animal lover.
I've never understood the thrill in killing an animal for fun.
This is the best game ever.
And he doesn't mince words.
Stupid.
He was talking about the Berkshire Council in New South Wales. They shot dead 15 dogs, including a mum and her pups, despite the willingness of rescue groups to come and save them.
It sent shockwaves all around the world. And unfortunately, it was perfectly legal for that council to go ahead and actually kill those animals.
The council claimed it was trying to protect a vulnerable community from COVID by banning rescuers from Cobar, 160 kilometres away.
Some of those dogs were meant to come to our rescue on the coast. The dogs didn't need to die.
I think it was that incident that really opened up a Pandora's box to really see what was happening inside some of these council pounds that weren't working with rescue groups.
Emma Hurst introduced a bill making it illegal for councils in New South Wales to kill dogs and cats unless they've approached 2 rescue organisations to find them a home.
Where there's people willing and able to take those animals in, the community will never accept the killing of these animals just because it was more convenient.
While researching this story, we discovered that there was sometimes friction between councils and rescue groups.
Some councils, if they're going through a rough period, then they may shut those rescue groups out. I would highly recommend to those councils trying to open the conversations with those groups.
Jeff Davison runs an animal rescue group on New South Wales' Central Coast. His motivation was a pointer called Max, put down in a council pound run by the RSPCA.
The owner contacted RSPCA and was in quite regular contact with them. They said that she could have more time to raise the fees that she needed to get him out of the pound, but instead of that, they killed him.
Jeff's group and other animal welfare organisations are confident they can find a home for most healthy animals that need one.
This law will be a step along the path towards no healthy dogs of reasonable temperament need to be killed.
But there are calls for help to deal with an increased workload.
Rescue groups are already the linchpin of the pound shelter and rescue group system in New South Wales. This law will increase that reliance on rescue groups, no doubt.
We need huge amounts of funding for these rescue organisations who are mostly covering the costs of rehoming these animals off their own back. Most of the rescue organisations get absolutely no funding from the government.
So, what's happening outside of New South Wales? Well, WA and Victoria are trying to reduce the number of dogs that end up in shelters by banning puppy farms. The Victorian government says it will be the first state or territory to require all pounds and shelters to report on the fate of animals in their care. But animal lovers would like to see the new laws in New South Wales enforced nationally.
Couldn't be happier. It's a great starting point. I think it's recognition by state government that this is an issue and has to be dealt with. We can't allow it to sort of just peter along of its own accord. It has to be managed appropriately.
I hope that we lead the way for other states, but I also know that the pound systems in every state and territory right across Australia needs major review. Ending convenience killing is one important step in this, but so much more needs to be done so that we can reduce and eventually get to zero in regards to those euthanasia rates.
Convenience killing, that's one heck of a term, huh? If I had the space, I would take each and every one of those puppies. It just breaks your heart, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and the work that they do is amazing. If you want to see statements from the Berkshire Council and the New South Wales and Victorian governments, those statements are on our webpage. And while we are talking rescue pups, the Doghouse is back tonight on 10, right after the project. It's like a big warm hug, that show.